Welcome again to the old principal. 我就是老校长. Man, I should have a cane or something to show that I'm really old and cold. 这个是一个英文节目. This is an English instructional program, and we are going to look today at number 307, the finish line. In fact, it says struggle to the finish line. Now, struggle usually is 挣扎, but in this case, struggle probably could be 这个辛辛苦苦的跑到这个终点. Okay, 终点, that'll be the finish line, 终点线, okay? So, with that in mind, let's let Mrs. Ash read the story, and then we will be back to look at it sentence by sentence.
Story 307, Struggle to the Finish Line. The first half of the marathon was the best part. It always is. What made the last half of this marathon more unbearable than most was the rain and the cold headwind. Up to the halfway point, Jim and I ran together. Then I expected him to pull away. Unexplainably, he started to slow down, so I ran on ahead. At about the 30-kilometer marker, an interesting thing happens in a runner's body. By that time, his body has used up all the glycogen and it starts to utilize stored fat. Runners feel like they'd rather walk than run. This terrible tiredness is called hitting the wall. Sure enough, at about 32 kilometers, I hit the wall. Now every step was difficult. Sometimes I ran and sometimes I walked. At this point, I was totally oblivious to the world around me. All I wanted to do was to struggle to the finish line. The finish line was up on a little knoll, the last kilometer being a steep incline. I struggled up the hill. Finally, I rounded the bend and the end was in sight. I didn't see Connie or Jim's wife, Sherry. I crossed the finish line and sat down to rest for a few minutes. My time, 3 hours and 42 minutes. After a while, I revived a bit and started looking for the two wives. After finding them, we all went to the finish line to wait for Jim, who we were sure couldn't be but just a few minutes behind me. We stood there for quite some time. Finally, I heard another friend of mine yell, "Hey, John, there's your friend!" But he was pointing away from the finish line. As I stood there, hardly able to move because of the weariness, I saw my running partner, Jim, being unloaded from an ambulance. Oh no! What happened to Jim?
Welcome back. Well, the first half of the marathon is the best part. It always is. Because when we're talking about 26 miles or 42 kilometers, we're talking about a long distance. Strange things happen. So the first half of a marathon, 跑马拉松的, okay, it's always the best part. You feel strong, you feel fast. Sometimes people go too fast to start with, and they pay for it later. It always is. What made the last half of the marathon more unbearable was was the rain and the cold headwind. Okay, a couple things here. The last half, 下半段, okay, the last half was more unbearable, 更难受. It was a cold day already. Okay, 更加难受是 it was raining, so it was raining. I do not. Do you like to run in the rain? Well, maybe you don't run. Do you like to do anything in the rain? No, people don't like that. So it was raining. It was not a comfortable day. And it was windy. There was a cold headwind. Now, let me explain something about the human body. And that is that when it's cold and it's wet, cold and wet, then, and if there is a wind blowing, that makes it worse. Have you ever heard of wind chill? That is the actual way the body feels it, 感觉到. Now, in this case, you will see that there was rain, it was cold, and now there's a headwind. Do you know what headwind is? A headwind is the wind that's blowing at you. 来风. Sometimes you can say 逆风 because it's blowing at you. So what's the opposite? Tailwind. Head, tail. Tailwind is a wind behind you and it actually blows you along. Okay? So it's rainy, it's cold, and it's wet, especially when you start to get tired. Going on. Up to the halfway point, Jim and I ran together. We ran together. We were running together. He was younger. He was stronger than me. Okay? Then I expected him to pull away. Okay, what does it mean to pull away? If you are talking about running, to pull away, when you have two people running together, if one pulls away, 开始跑快一些. So he is pulling away. He is getting ahead. Okay? So I expected, okay? I expected, 我想到，我已经准备好了, okay? That he would pull away. And then I'd say, goodbye, Jim. Enjoy your run. I'll come back. I'll come. I'm a little slower. Okay? Unexplainably. Well, you know what to explain is 解释. But unexplainably is 莫名其妙. 莫名其妙. Good translation for unexplainably. He started to slow down. 他就开始慢下来. So, I ran ahead. I mean, if he's going to slow down, I will just keep on running. You know, he'll catch up with me. Maybe he was just slowing down, saving his energy, 保留他的体力. And then at the end, he would have all sorts of strength. So, I ran on ahead. To ran on ahead means I ran ahead. Going on. About 30 kilometers marker, an interesting thing happens in the runner's body. 30公里左右. A runner's body 跑步者的身体上开始发生一些事情. Okay? 一种现象, a phenomenon happens. It's not always 30, maybe 32, 33, 34. But here's what happens. Okay, by this time, the body has used up all the, whoa, what is glycogen? Glycogen, 糖原. Sometimes we just say 糖分, okay? 糖原, glycogen. And it starts to utilize stored fat. 就开始利用储藏的脂肪. So we all have fat. You look at the old principle, and the old principle is not very fat, okay? But I have a little tiny bit of fat. It's good. A little fat is good. You don't want to be too thin. 你不要太瘦，过瘦不好. So, when you're running, there comes a point where your body starts to utilize 利用 okay? Stored fat 储藏的这个脂肪储藏的 okay? So it's stored here and the body starts to use it. That's a safety system to protect you and me. Going on. Runners at that time feel like they'd rather walk than run. That is amateur runners. 业余的跑步者 at this point, they say, I think I'd just as soon walk. Many amateur runners, you see them toward the end of the race, they're just walking. That's all, just walking, okay? This terrible tiredness, 这个可怕的这个疲倦, okay? Tiredness is called hitting the wall. Now, if you have a wall, 有一个墙壁, and you 撞这个墙壁, what is that called? It's called hitting the wall. Let me ask you, if you hit the wall literally, 真正的, so 撞上一个墙壁, how would you feel? Of course, you would feel awful. 你会感到非常痛苦. Well, they have this, and hitting the wall is this terrible feeling of tiredness that comes over you. Going on. Sure enough, 果然不错. About 32 kilometers, I hit the wall. 我就开始接受，感觉到有 hitting the wall 有这个现象 okay? Now, every step was difficult, okay? Every step I took was difficult. Sometimes I ran, and sometimes I walked. It was not easy. Now, I can tell you that it would have been better if I would have been better prepared. But I prepared. 真的我是锻炼，但是锻炼是不够. My training was not enough. Okay, let's go on. At this point, I was totally oblivious. Okay, what does oblivious mean? 我根本不注意 the world around me, 这个周围的人啊. I didn't care about people, things, anything. I was totally oblivious. All I could think about was that I wanted to struggle. I wanted to somehow figure out how in the world I can survive this. Okay? Again, I explain again, to struggle is 挣扎, okay? But in this case, struggling would be more or less to 辛辛苦苦的要跑到底 in a 终点线 is finish line. Okay, going on. The finish line was up on a little knoll. Okay, what is a knoll? Have you ever heard of a knoll? It's a hill. It's a little mountain. 小山坡. Okay, it's just a little, it's not very big, except when you are very tired. It looks like the tallest mountain in the world. So, how am I going to make that? Okay, the last kilometer being a steep incline. So the last kilometer, 最后一公里, is very steep incline. Now, you see the word steep. This is 陡. Okay, 陡. Okay, and incline is 斜度. So 非常陡的斜度. In other words, it's very steep. And I struggled up the hill. Struggled. I am sure that I walked a good part of that. Of course, I was walking fast, but it is hard to explain. 很不容易形容 how tired you get. You're really tired. So I am 挣扎我痛痛苦苦的这个跑还是爬还是走上去 I mean, I don't even know how I did it. I just did it. Okay? I was oblivious to the world around. I didn't care about anybody else. I was hurting and I wanted to finish. Going on. Finally, I rounded the bend and the end was in sight. I didn't see Connie or Jim's wife, Sherry. Now we came to the end. Went around the corner. There's the end, 终点. I was happy. Now, in those days, there weren't a lot of people. So I was looking and I was at, where is my wife? Where is Jim's wife? I couldn't see them, but at least I was going to finish the race. So now we are trying to finish it. By the way, if I remember right, they said they were cold, so they went inside. Okay, going on. I crossed the finish line and sat down to rest for a few minutes. When I finished, I crossed the finish line, 这个终点线. I sat down. I found a place to sit down and just rest. Oh my word. But my time was not too bad. My time was 3 hours and 42 minutes. Okay, 3 hours and 42 minutes. Actually, I've forgotten the exact time, but I know it was around 42 minutes. 3 hours and 42 minutes. Not bad. I never ever ran that fast again. I mean, that was the fastest I ever ran a marathon. All subsequent 以后的这个马拉松 was slower. Okay, it took more time. Going on. After a while, I revived. 我就恢复. I revived a bit. That is a little tiny bit. 恢复. A bit meaning just a little bit. I revived. And I started looking for the two wives. 开始找这个两个太太。我的太太还有 Jim 的太太. Okay, going on. After finding them, we all went to the finish line to wait for Jim. So I found them. I think I found them inside because they were cold. Then we went to the finish line, 这个终点, and to wait for Jim. Okay, who we were sure, 我们肯定, couldn't be but just a few minutes behind me. 肯定只不过是在我后面几分钟而已啊. Only a few minutes behind me. We were sure. Going on. We stood there for quite some time. We stood there and stood there. For quite some time simply means 有一段时间. In other words, it wasn't short. It was 有一点长. Finally, I heard another friend of mine yell. 最后我听到另外一个朋友叫 Hey John, there's your friend. Hey John, 你的朋友. Going on. But he was pointing away from the finish line. Eh? When he took his hand, he was pointing away from the finish. The finish line was here, and he was pointing there. So, excuse me? Why was he pointing away? 指着错呢? 搞错呢? Why point that way? The finish line is here. Going on. As I stood there, hardly able to move because of weariness. 几乎我不能动，因为累坏了. I'm just tired. I saw my running partner. 我看到我的这个跑步的伙伴. I said my running partner. The reason why I say running partner is because we ran together. We often trained together. 一起锻炼. So we ran together. We started the race together. 连我们的衬衫, 我们的背心, whatever you call it, same color. We were a team, 2-people team. Okay. I saw my running partner Jim being unloaded from an ambulance. 我就看 my running partner Jim 要被一些医护人员抬下来，从一个救护车抬下来。Oh no! What happened to Jim? Oh no! What happened to Jim? Well, we have a few minutes, so I'd like to encourage everybody. I've been doing this for 40 or 50 years, so I'm going to do it one more time. You don't have to run a marathon. In fact, in some cases, maybe running a marathon is a little bit crazy, you should prepare well. Prepare well. But I must say that you and I, 不管你是男的女的, not only men but also women, must have a regular exercise program. 定期计划要运动 should be 4 times a week, at least 4 times a week. I think I better go running this evening. Okay, it's been about 4 days since the last time I ran, 3 days. 4 days a week, and every time you exercise, it can be walking. Walking is great. Nowadays, I am a walker. I walk very fast though, faster than some people run. Okay? Walking is okay. Walk, run, swim, ride a bicycle. Get some aerobic exercise every day. Make your heart beat fast. 使你的心脏跳得快一些. But whatever you do, before you start to exercise, make sure you talk to your family doctor. 你的医生啊，先要得到他的允许，才开始运动。Okay, I have a lot. I love to talk about exercise, but we've run out of time. There's no more time. No problem. We will be back next time for another interesting story. But first, here is our email address, theoldprinciple@gmail.com, and our website, 我们的网站是 www.theoldprinciple.org. Enjoyed the time together? Hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye for now.